The resolution is the United Nations should redirect efforts from climate change to poverty. The United Nations should prioritize in helping poverty because it concerns the people of their own countries and they are to be the peacekeeper and help them out. In my quote, the United Nations has a special responsibility to the poor. The United Nations is a body whose greatest impact has been helping the poor, migrating conflict, and protecting innocent civilians during conflict.
This is what will happen if the United Nations is allowed to prioritize preventing poverty over climate change. Point 1. The United Nations should not help prevent world poverty because their sole purpose is maintaining international peace, and that alone. Their purpose is not to prevent poverty. I quote, "The United Nations is an international organization committed to maintaining international peace." And that is from the UN.org. So therefore, the UN should not worry about preventing poverty, but should focus instead on that of world peace.
Point number 1. Many children suffer every day from poverty. According to UNICEF, 25,000 children die every day due to poverty, and they die quietly in some of the poorest villages on earth, far removed from the scrutiny and the conscience of the world. Being meek and weak in life makes these dying multitudes even more invincible in death. There are 2.2 billion children in the world, and 1 billion are in poverty. For the 1.9 children from the developing world, there are 640 million without adequate shelter, 400 million with no access to safe water, and 270 million with no access to health services.
Therefore, the United Nations should support climate change over poverty to preserve the safety of the future Earth. This brings me to my first point. Swine flu and climate change are related. According to Angelic Mull, CEO of the UK Public Health Association, both are the results of unbridled economic growth, environmental degradation, and industrial agricultural practices. When will we learn that prevention is better than cure? When she delivered a session to the World Congress of Public Health, she said, "Climate change is a direct result of an unstable development, as is environment degradation and the emergence and spread of diseases, which have their roots and their combination of the intensive agricultural practices and food production." So, this article, written April 30th, 2009, validates that climate change directly causes poverty. So we should eliminate the cause so that we can eliminate both issues with one stone.
Okay, third affirmative. Okay, let's just get straight to the point. The UN should prioritize poverty reduction over combating climate change. There are too many obstacles to productivity standing in the way of the poor. The unwillingness of governments and feudal elites to give full-fledged property rights of land to their tenants is cited as the chief obstacle to development. It inhibits entrepreneurship among the poor. Global poverty is the direct cause of illiteracy, misunderstandings, discontentment, tensions, and conflict. It creates the conditions for revolutions, guerrilla warfare, gang warfare, desperate among exuberated governments, and nodes of tension that can lead to both civil war and international military confrontation.
Imagine a world without bright colors, without coral reefs, rainforests, snow-capped mountains. Now hold on to that image because that's what you're going to see in a later part of your life if the UN does not prioritize climate change over poverty. The world should not step in to help poverty because the rising cost of food and oil prices. According to www.un.org/Millennium Goals, the world cannot afford to bring third world countries out of poverty because over the past few years, food and oil prices have been steadily increasing. This shows that we have starvation in our own country. A lot of countries in the UN have starvation in their country too, and